Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. It is January 11th, Wednesday at 1:26 p.m. I am about to read a short story, but it is a new vlog and it is the second vlog of the year, so we're getting there. So for the vlogs, I am basically just gonna film until I feel like there's enough footage, usually around an hour of footage. I really want it to be around 45 minutes, but last week did push it, but so it's not going to be like an exact like, oh, I'm going to film Monday through Friday or like that kind of thing. It's just going to be until there's enough footage to make a vlog. And I realized I keep my notes in a notebook when I'm not annotating books, and I realized I have been using my gaming notebook rather than my reading notebook. So I've been using the wrong notebook all month. There's the proof, but it's okay. I'm going to keep using it for 2023, I guess. We are going to be starting 2 new books today, but the book that I am about to get into right now is not a new pickup. So I am currently reading Florida by Lauren Groff. This is my short story or poetry collection. I'm just reading an anthology, reading one section a day, each day of the month, except Sundays, because Sundays I am very busy in the morning time and just don't have time to pick it up. But this is a short story collection, all having to do with Florida, all having to kind of do with survival, not necessarily survival out in the woods, but just trying to make it day to day. And the writing is absolutely beautiful in here. I am loving it. It's very poetic. We will have such a short time of characters, because again, these are short stories, but you feel so connected with them, even if you're only with them for like 15 pages. And then I told y'all what the plot was about and then the setting, so I am really enjoying this, and it's probably going to be a 5-star. I am going to start writing anthologies. I haven't done that in the past. That is something that I am doing new in 2023, but I am going to start with Salvador is the story I'm starting with today, and that begins on page 131 and goes to page 155. About to go head outside to read now. I am starting a new book, and that is Electra by Jennifer Saint. This is her, well, I know it's her second like Greek mythology one, because Ariadne was very popular, and I've only watched one video where somebody, the reading nymph, talks about this book and she absolutely loved it. So my hopes are high, because I do like a lot of the same books as her. And this one, okay, well, Greek mythology, I read Circe about a week or 2 ago, and honestly, I didn't like it. Sorry, I hear a high-pitched noise, but I did not like Circe. I thought it was very boring, and I talked to the reading nymph, and she, same people's this YouTube channel name, this is weird. So I talked to her on her Discord server about Circe, and she felt the same as I did, that the writing was beautiful, but the plot was kind of slow, and so I felt the same, and so hopefully I feel the same of how she feels about this. But I have heard, okay, that got all sidetracked, but I have had a hard time reading Greek mythology retellings in the past, so I am kind of nervous going into this. But when I did buy this, I talked to the guy at the store, and he said it sounded good, so that's like 2 people. And I want to read 13 chapters today, which is a total of 110 pages. So this is 3 women tangled in an ancient curse. So Electra, Clytemnestra, and Agamemnon's youngest daughter, wants only for her beloved father to return from war, but can she escape her family's bloody history, or is her destiny bound by violence too? And I got this one for 50% off, which is cool, and as it was a book club exclusive at Barnes & Noble, but I am going to go start this now. Okay, first Target haul of the year. It is a bit excessive because I haven't been in like 2 weeks, but I did have a $5 gift card and ended up getting a $5 gift card as well. I qualified for one, so shout out to Target. So let's go to the first bag here. So a lot of this original Valentine's stuff I wanted was sold out, but hopefully they do a restock later, and if they don't, I can always buy it online. Or for some of the things like these, the birds, they sell out online as soon as they go up. But I got the little cutie pie chef one. Its name is Avie. So it's a little chef. And then this one with the flowers named Jet. She's so soft. My Christmas ones will be coming down this week, and my Valentine ones I will be putting out this week as well, as we are a month out. Then I did get vitamin C radiance serums. This is the Honest brand, which is Jessica Alba's brand, and I really like their makeup remover wipes, so I wanted to try their vitamin C. So if you don't know, vitamin C is for to fix dual skin and aging, so it really just makes your face glow. The light really reflects on it well, and I've been out for a few weeks now, so I cannot wait to try this. And then this is a vegan product. I use all vegan for beauty and fashion to let y'all know. So then my dad picked out this one. He was like, you need to get this. And all of this so far that I've shown you is $5. I don't know about this, but the decorations have all been $5. So it's a little gnome. Don't know where I'm going to put him, but they have a white one and a pink one, so we might pick up the white one next week. Then I did get a garland. This is a 6-foot garland. I think this was $10. Yep. I just don't have a Valentine's Day garland, and I just love the colors of Valentine's Day. I used to not be a Valentine's Day person because I was bitter about being single, but now that I'm like single by choice, I don't really care, and I love the colors. And then just think of spreading love, not just in a romantic sense, but just spreading love is something that we should all strive to do. And then in here, the last of our Valentine's decorations, I got this little car. I thought it was going to be smaller. It is ceramic, and this was $5, which I feel like is a really good price for something like this. And then I got probably the last book I'm gonna purchase this month. And I was lucky that it's the Target Book Club Book of the Month, because this is one of my anticipated releases for the year, and that is In Time of Our History by Susan Pari. So this is the sweeping multi-generational saga transports readers into the world of the Jahani family, Iranian immigrants grappling with the future of their traditions as an American-born daughter steps outside her expected role, shaking loose their foundations and their secrets in a novel that poses larger questions about the meaning of marriage, motherhood, and starting anew, even as we long for a place we once called home. So I love multi-generational tales, so that seems like something that'll be right at my alley. So I am taking down my Christmas decorations that are in my room. That's like my room and my bathroom. And I'm going to be putting them in these two little totes, because they're mainly just little knickknacks, like things like this that will fit perfectly in there. And then I did get a new bath towel, because the one I have now is actually like a beach towel that I got in a subscription box, and it's not moldy smelling or like mildew smelling. It smells just stale, and that kind of freaks me out. I don't know why it smells like that. So I went ahead and just bought a new one, because this does match my current theme of my other, like my shower curtain, shower mat, and also just a bath towel. And then this was the only throw blanket that they had left, only Valentine's one they had left. So this is the one that I ended up getting. It has little multicolored hearts and is white, and it was for $10. And the bath towel was, I'm not seeing a price on that. And then the book is saying 16 and then take off 20% of 16. I don't know math, but that is everything that I got at Target today. Electra update time. So I read 110 pages in here, which is exactly how many I wanted to read. Luckily tomorrow is not as many pages, because I am feeling kind of sleepy, but that is from me staying up late and not from the book. Let's go into my thoughts. So it's good writing. I am enjoying the writing. I don't know, I meant to look it up. Not dialogue, but the other like words. I don't know what those other words are called, but that's what's really good. So Clytemnestra is my favorite so far. So she starts out very kind and a humble person, and she's married to Agamemnon, who betrays her, like the worst kind of betrayal ever. So we see her falling into this dark depression, her wanting to have revenge. And I love those kind of stories for like historical. I am reading it as a fantasy book. On Goodreads it's listed as fantasy, on Storygraph it's listed as historical, but I am classifying it as fantasy. Then we have Cassandra, who she is young. I feel like she's the black sheep, like she is an outcast and she's just trying to find her place. Cassandra is somebody who has vision. She knows what's going to happen in the Trojan War, and nobody believes her. And like once these events do happen, nobody's like, hey, didn't you predict that? They just seem to have forgotten that she was like, this is going to happen. Our city's is going to be in a war and all of that. And then Electra, I feel like is going to be a mix of both of those. Electra is a child. She is a child of Clytemnestra and Agamemnon. So she obviously doesn't understand war because she is just a young girl. And she knows that her father did something terrible, but she's like, he had to do it for a reason. Like she doesn't understand evil really. She doesn't understand that people can be evil, especially somebody that you love and look up to, that they can be something that you don't think that they are. And then her mother is going into this depression and she's not understanding why her mother is depressed. So very interesting dynamics. And then we are discovering the world as the characters do, like as they're coming to these new cities, whether it be Sparta or Troy. And so I think that is really good for the world building, because as we discover the story, they are discovering the story as well. And then this is fast paced and easy to read. So I am enjoying Electra. It's a 3-star right now. I'm 37% of the way in, so it's probably gonna stay a 3-star, but I am enjoying it, I am liking it, and I would recommend it at this point. We are going to be starting a new book at 9, which is in 30 minutes. I'm gonna go have some ice cream for some desserts and then see y'all. Okay, it is a little after 9. No, it's not. It's exactly 9. We are going to be starting The Phlebotomist by Chris Panettiere. Let me tell y'all what this is about. In a near future where citizens are subject to the mandatory blood draw, government phlebotomist Willa Wallace witnesses an event that makes her question her whole world. So that's what this is about. It's science fiction. How long is this book? So it's like... Ooh. Is there a podcast element? So it's looking about 311 pages, which is perfectly average length of a book. I did buy this book used, so it does have a little wear to it, but that doesn't bother me at all. I was just letting y'all know. Oh, this is interesting. On the bottom, foul under science fiction, blood will out. This might hurt a bit, be positive, bloody nightmare. I don't know what all that means on the bottom, but I'm going to be starting The Phlebotomist now. Last update of the day, I read 25 pages, which was 2 chapters and 7%. So to my understanding, Willa is, well, I know for a fact, she's an older woman, she's a grandmother, and I think she remembers the world before we kind of got to this kind of dystopian society, and she is a phlebotomist, obviously. I think she's really starting to question a lot of it, question the ethics of it, question if it's really what they should be doing, if it is for the good of men. Is the society segregated entirely by blood type? So I think, yeah, they're recovering from nuclear war, it seems like. So they're having to collect blood to help the injured people, recover, or so that's what the government's telling them. And this really reminds me of Philip K. Dick. So if you like Philip K. Dick books, maybe pick this up, but I am only 7% into it, so I can't tell you too much so far, but I am enjoying it because I like dystopian books. I like books that are set in the near future. And again, Philip K. Dick is probably my favorite science fiction author, and it's reminded me of his work. I don't know if this takes place in the United States or in England, because the book was printed in England, so that just makes me assume this is a British book. And then, like, I don't know, because like Patriot, if I hear Patriot, I think United States. I don't think any other country, because that's the name of the government blood contractor. But it could be like the whole world's under one government, I'm not sure. But That's with this. I'm not reading any of Dune tonight because Wednesday is my Netflix night, so I'm gonna watch probably about 3 episodes of Call the Midwife. I haven't watched in days, so I'm super excited to get back into it. I'm somewhere in season 2 right now. And I read 159 pages in total today. I'm gonna go use a bath bomb, my first time in a while, because I had to order some, and I'm super excited. So if you want to see which one I use, be sure to follow me on Instagram. That's linked in the description of this video. Guys, it is Thursday, January 12th at 2:59 p.m. So we are about to start reading. We didn't start reading at 2:30 today because I usually on the outside days do 2:30 to 3:30, and then sometimes I go after that just because I want to keep reading. But it is a very rainy day, which is my favorite kind of weather. It's warm rain, so it's very nice, and it honestly just makes me so happy. So I'm gonna read in the sunroom today just to have all those perfect rainy day vibes. It's gonna be hard to stay awake because this is perfect napping weather, but I'll survive, don't worry. So I have read some of Florida today. I read 15 pages, and we're back to actually having the stories take place in Florida rather than be about Floridians, because the past 2 before that we had one in France and then one in Salvador. So we're back in Florida, but we are going to be getting into Electra now, starting on page 110 to start the day. Let me write that all down in my little weekly planner reading journal thing here. But I hope y'all are having a happy whatever day Thursday, even though y'all are probably seeing this on a Friday. But I didn't really talk about the books that released this week, and we did talk last week. So the ones that were released this week, there is only one, and I could be totally saying this wrong. It is The Deluge by Stephen Markley. This is like a speculative fiction, science fiction. It's a big boy. It's like 800 pages, but I really want to get to it because it just sounds so good. And again, that came out on Tuesday. We do have several releases next week, and they're not all on Tuesday. One of them comes out on Thursday, which is kind of odd. You never really see that, but I am allowed to buy one more book this month. I don't know what it's going to be. It will probably be at Target, but I mean, Amazon does happen occasionally because I am allowed to buy 9 books this month with my own money, because I did receive 2 that were not my own money, like the gifts and then from subscription services from Book of the Month that I got a book for free. But yeah, I'm gonna get into reading now. I am done reading Electra for the day. I got to 71%, so I am on track to finish tomorrow. I read 99 pages, but let's talk about my thoughts. So we see Electra is building a lot of resentment towards Clytemnestra, her mother, because she doesn't understand the grief that her mother is going through, and doesn't understand kind of like the mental health crisis really that Clytemnestra is going through. So we see that kind of dynamic. And then this is, I don't want to say I don't know how to word it. I don't know if I should say there's little plot at all, or if it's just a slow plot. This is definitely more character and writing is more of the main focus here, and which I usually love. I love character work and beautiful writing, and it's the narrative that is really good in here. I found out that is the word. If it's not dialogue, it's narrative. But I feel like you still need a little bit more plot. It's just the plot's not gripping me, and that was the same with Cersei, but in Cersei I didn't like the characters either, so that kind of played issue there. But I am still going to keep trying to give Greek mythology a chance. I did see there is a book on Clytemnestra, who, as I said, I really like her, and I think she's a very I can't think of the word. It starts with a D. But yeah, just there's a lot to her. There's a lot of depth to her. I don't think that's the word I was looking for. And I think that would be an interesting mind to go through. It kind of reminds me of Cersei in a way, like Cersei Lannister, not Cersei from Greek mythology. but with more compassion. I like her as a character. And then in Cersei, I like the character Medea. I'm not sure how to say her name. I liked her as a character, but I haven't seen any books on her yet, but I haven't really looked either. So I'm finding characters that I like. I just need to find somebody who can write a good plot. But that is all for a lecture for the day. We will be getting into my sci-fi books at night. It is time to read, and it was just announced that Lisa Marie Presley died, so thoughts with that family, because there's been a lot of tragedy, because I know her son passed last year or the year before, so thoughts with her mom. And I don't know if there's how many other kids she has. I know she has a daughter, so thoughts with them, because that is very sad to see her pass. But we will be getting into the phlebotomist now, starting on page 25, which is chapter 3. I read 23 pages in here, getting me to page 48, chapter 7, and I'm so worried for Willa. She's such a wholesome character. Like, she's just a grandma out here trying to take care of her grandson, and I'm like, please don't let anything happen to her. Don't let anything happen to her grandson. I need the best to happen for them, but we know stuff's gonna happen in this 250 pages. So I read 23 pages. I need to write that down. And then we will be getting into Dune tonight. Let me put that there. Dune. We didn't read Dune last night, as y'all know, so we're going to be starting on page 263 in here, and then there's not chapter numbers, so I can't tell you that, but I'm at about 30%. So what, 263 is what I think I said. I could be way wrong because I am bad with numbers. Yep, 263 is where we are starting, but I am going to go get a bath now, or a shower. I hate showers, but you know, you gotta do it. So I will see y'all tomorrow on Friday the 13th. Happy Friday the 13th. That is 2:26 p.m. So we yesterday ended up reading 173 pages, and let's see how we do today. I used to not vlog on Fridays, but how I'm doing vlogs different this year, so I didn't get to Florida this morning just because on like Fridays are basically like the only day I get to sleep in. So I will be reading this later tonight, so we'll get to that later. But we will be getting to a lecture and finishing a lecture today. We are going to be starting on page 209, chapter 27, at Cassandra's perspective. I finished a lecture, so I read 86 pages in here today. The dust jacket did get a little beat up, so this is not going to be one that I sell on eBay. It's going to be getting donated, but Delilah, she walked all over the dust jacket because she wanted to rearrange all my stuffed animals. But yes, this is a 3-star. It was a good book and I would recommend it still, but it just wasn't for me. We have very complex characters here, and I've been meaning to say, I think now finishing it, I don't think Cassandra was necessary as a perspective in here. I think it'd be really interesting just to explore the mother-daughter relationship between Clytemnestra and Electra, but that's not what Jennifer Saint decided to do. The atmosphere, the world building was really good of how we discovered the world kind of with the characters as they are becoming the women that they became. We really just see the world moving through their eyes. The writing, there was beautiful narrative, average dialogue. The plot is where this sinks for me. It was very slow moving. It wasn't really a massive plot to follow. You can really tell that Jennifer Saint was mainly focusing on the character work and the writing. But I did enjoy this still, and as I said, I would still recommend it, especially if you are into Greek mythology. This is the best Greek mythology retelling I've read, which is not saying a ton because this was still just a 3-star, but I always come out liking a character, wanting to know more about a character. In this instance, I want to know more about Clytemnestra, and I have seen that a book is coming out about her this year, and I'm sure there's been plenty because the Iliad and Odyssey, because I'm not sure which is which, have been out for thousands of years, so I am sure there are tons of books on these characters. So yeah, we finished that. That was my fantasy pick for the month. So I need to find out what fantasy book I'm going to be picking up next and next month. And then I need to get the book that I'm going to be starting on Monday, which is Years by Laverne Spencer. It is a I don't know, it's a historical romance, and it's kind of like, it's an older book. It's not a new release or anything. I think it came out in maybe the 80s, 70s or 80s, that time period. And it is quite a big book, but not long enough to be an audiobook, so that means not over 500 pages. And yeah, this was really short and fast to read. It was 293 pages with the Barnes & Noble Book Club edition, because the version I had did come with a bonus chapter, which that chapter was amazing. But yeah, so there is our update for Electra. It's currently 7:04 p.m. I already went ahead and read my short story in here, which was 34 pages, so not quite that short, but I loved it. It was about this woman who was homeless by choice and just being nomadic and what comes with that. And I just found that extremely fascinating, because I just think people who do that, it amazes me. Like, just being able to go wherever you want, and like, I don't know, like, just, I like to hear about those kind of stories. So I did really enjoy that. Like, Lauren Groff, I will read everything she's written. I bought The Matrix in December, so I definitely can pick up another book by her. I own it. And then it has in the back here Fates and Furies. So like, she's going to be an autobiography for me. I'm absolutely loving this. It's the best thing I've read this year, and I am currently 74% of the way through. And how many short stories do we actually have left? Only 2, so we'll be finishing this probably on Monday. And then we are about to get into The Phlebotomist, starting on page 48, chapter 7. I read like way more than I anticipated. It's like 10:48 right now, because as I said earlier, it's the weekend, staying up a little bit late. But we got to page 86, which is a quarter of the way into the book, and stuff is trying to happen. I'm so worried for these characters, but it's like, as I told y'all, she's questioning, so while working as a reaper, taking collections for the harvest, for low chances upon an idea to resurrect an obsolete technique that could rebalance the city. But in her quest to set things into motion, she uncovers a horrifying secret. So that's just what happened, is she uncovered that the government has been lying to everybody. I'm not going to say like in what way or anything, because I don't want to spoil it for y'all, but yes, I am definitely enjoying this. It kind of reminds me of 1984 as well, which I've only read the graphic novel version of that. Fahrenheit 431. No, there's a restaurant in Charlotte that has a name like Fahrenheit, but I always get, sorry, the pets, they're in here, but yeah, so I never remember the Bradbury book or the restaurant. I always get number, because we all know I'm not good with numbers. I get them confused. But I read that in high school, and I would love to reread that, because y'all know I just enjoy classic sci-fi, except Dune. We're getting to Dune in a moment. But I do want to reread that. I don't know if I still own my copy. I think I might have unhauled it, because I was like, my junior year of high school is when I read it. American, was that American? I think that was American, because I took American and British literature, but I was like, I'm never gonna read this again. Yeah, it was definitely American, because we read The Crucible and all of that, but it was summer reading. Now let's get into our next, so Dune, where we're starting, all that fun stuff. But yeah, Dune is honestly like a 2-star for me. So y'all are like, why aren't you just gonna DNF it? I still want to give it a chance, because it is so well loved. A lot of people who have similar reading tastes, this is one of their favorite books of Brittany. That's who I'm thinking about. So like, just cause, yeah. And then one of my friends said that this was a great book, and I'm like, I want to give it that chance. And again, like, this is a big book, so there is all that space of possibilities for me to fall in love with this book still. I mean, I really don't think, since I'm over a quarter of the way into it, I'm like 30 or 35% of the way into it, I don't think I'm going to fall in love with it at this point, but I still want to give it a chance, because it is such a well-loved book. So we will be starting today on page 304, Probably gonna start at 11, which is in 9 minutes. Just take some time to chill in here, look at my phone and all of that stuff, because as I said, I've been reading the Phlebotomist. But I will see y'all tomorrow on Saturday. Saturday is gonna be a very busy day because Sunday I have other plans. It's basically reversing what I do on Saturdays and Sundays. So we're going to Chick-fil-A first, then we're going to my grandma's house, and after that go to the grocery store. And then tomorrow is Delilah's first birthday, so she is going to go to Petco or PetSmart. Not sure which one I'm going to take her to yet, but going there to pick out some toys for her, some treats maybe. She's never been to a store before. She's only been to the animal shelter when I adopted her, the vet, and my grandma's house. I'm pretty sure those are the only places that she's gone, with me anyway, because who knows, before she ended up at the animal shelter where all she went. But yes, so it's gonna be quite hectic because I don't know how she's gonna behave. She does well with other animals, like that's no problem, and she does well with humans too. Like she's a very friendly dog. That's the thing, she's very friendly. She will go up to people. At the vet, like in the waiting room when she went to get fixed, she was just like going up to everybody being like, hi. So yeah, I'm not gonna be controlling the leash. I told my dad, I was like, I'll pay and I'll hold the bags and all that, but I am not controlling the leash because she may be very chaotic. I don't know, but I am rambling. I'm gonna get into Dune in a little bit here and then talk to y'all tomorrow on whatever day. Saturday. At the store for the first time.
Come on.
She's like, this is a lot to take in.
All right, dude, come back this way.
Delilah. So these were the chosen gifts: the pork chop and then a Kong bone. That is what you got. And you got to go on a car ride? And people at the store thought you were so pretty? Guys, she's so hyped. Delilah! Delilah! Okay, let's see. She's your little lamb. She's having the time of her life. I didn't vlog in my cute clothes, but I will tomorrow. But yeah, I did everything that I told you I would do. Y'all saw us at the pet store. I've not read yet because I usually read later on weekends anyway, but we will be starting the day with a short story in Florida, starting on page 207, and I think it goes to 215. Yeah, or 204. It starts on 204 and goes to 215. So just 11 pages, which is an incredibly short story. And yes, so we will be starting this. Not starting it, but we're gonna be getting into it. I need to write down a page. Yeah, yesterday I ended up reading 206 pages, so I kind of went off, but that is always a good thing. But there's going to be a rocket launch in 20 minutes here, so we're definitely going to go try to see that. It is pretty clear now. It did snow a little earlier, but not like enough to stick on the ground or anything. So those clouds are pretty much out of the way now and it's pretty clear. So we're gonna try to see the SpaceX launch, and then I'll read after that because that's my normal weekend starting time anyway, at 6 o'clock. But I will see y'all when we go out to see the rocket launch. So we took down the Christmas trees and put them back into storage. So I don't know what I'm really going to do with this area. I do have my workout equipment, my PlayStation, radio, Funko Pops, baseballs. Like, this is bad. I do want to, because I have nowhere to store my Funko Pops, and this corner only just stresses me out. I don't like it. It gives me anxiety. So I am going to put them into storage until I do have the proper shelving to put them on. And so that's what I'm thinking right now. Some I might keep out because, like, if they're like absolute favorite characters or something, then I might keep out, because I do see some that I might want to keep around, but I'm not exactly sure yet. But I did just want to show y'all. If you have any ideas for what I can do right here, let me know, because I really just want to have it bare. I will keep this here because that's where I work out, but when I do the bicycle. We're outside for the rocket launch. So it's taken off in Florida right now, 5:55, and we usually see it about 2 to 3 minutes after takeoff. Here's the current view, super beautiful this time of day. I totally misread and it was rescheduled to tomorrow, which I will not be able to see it tomorrow because I'm going to be inside at that time, and like, yeah, because I don't like jinxing things. That's why I haven't really talked about what I am doing tomorrow. I'm still going to knock on wood even for just talking about that, but yeah, y'all will see it in the vlog. Don't worry, it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a lot of fun, and yeah. Sorry, it got cold here. Let me see what the temperature actually is right now, because as I told y'all, it snowed earlier. It is 44 degrees, feels like 38. So to me, that is quite cold weather, and I don't mess with that. But let's see where we're going to be starting in the phlebotomist. I don't remember if I updated. Yeah, I do think I updated y'all last night on the phlebotomist. So I'm starting on page 86. Yeah, I definitely did update y'all. I remember now. So we're starting on 86 and just seeing. Oh no. It sounded like he dropped something. Okay, there was yelling. I need to go check on that. And we are currently watching the 49ers Seahawks game. Go Seahawks, because a lot of friends and family pull for them. I read 86 pages in the phlebotomist, which is literally like, I had read 86 pages prior to like all earlier this week, so I read basically the same amount that I've read all week. So I got to 49% of the way through, but let me tell you my thoughts. Like, I just had this realization where I'm like, oh, this is what the author means, but I don't know that for a fact. I don't know what the author's intention was for writing the book, but I'm not going to go into too much because potential spoilers, but basically I think it's really meaning that to the government, to the elites, whoever you want to consider, we're all just pawns. They don't really care about us. They all use us to make themselves feel better, to find a thrill off the power, I guess. It's hard to say because with spoilers it'd be easier for me to explain. But I think this is really just kind of a hinting at that, of showing elitism, showing that the people on top, Republican, Democrat, whatever, they don't really care about you. I'm sorry, I know that's hard for a lot of people to hear, but they don't. They don't. It's all just people wanting to climb to the top for their own personal gain, in my opinion, which I do think my opinion's right, but I am always open-minded to hear other people's ideas on the subject. But I do think that is what this book is about, of saying that the average middle class, whatever, lower class citizen is just a pawn in the rich man's game. So this is a 4-star for me, the phlebotomist. Sorry, it's sitting in my book stack over there. I put it up because I totally forgot I had to vlog. That the dialogue for me, I don't like the way the characters talk. It's this character's excessive use of improper grammar, which obviously makes a ton of sense because people really talk like that, but it just grinds my gears reading. And I feel like this book could have been edited better. I feel like there's some parts where just commas, semicolons, that kind of thing needed to be used and weren't, because sometimes I have to go back and read a line because I'm like, wait, did I read that right? So the writing is where I'm having a bit of an issue, but I am still loving this. I'm loving the themes, and I do have a theory. We have kind of a fantastical creature brought in. I'm not exactly sure if it is that yet. I'm gonna have to read more into it to see. But yes, I am really enjoying The Phlebotomist by Chris Panettiere, so definitely do, I'll get it. So definitely do recommend picking this up, because I am I'm almost halfway into it, so I am enjoying it. Yes, this was on the bag of croutons I was eating because I forgot to throw it away. And I was just like, put it in there. I was like, it'll make a good bookmark. I am going to be getting into Dune, starting on page 352, probably in a little bit. It's 11:15, but while I edit, I will be listening to that. Again, Dune is like a 2-star for me, which is so hard to believe. I thought I would be higher up because I usually love classic sci-fi, but I think I prefer dystopian sci-fi rather than space opera sci-fi. At least for books anyhow. I mean, I do like the occasional like space opera, but for reading, I think I prefer this. Starting Sunday's vlog out here, and we are at PNC Arena, which is, I have fantastic memories here, seeing One Direction, but Kane Saki. Are we recording? Yeah, we're recording in our seats. And it is NASCAR night, which is iconic because y'all know those are my two favorite sports combining. But the Canes playing the Canucks and Raleigh. And then the tunnel's like right there. Time. So it's over here. You know, this guy has to start asking me questions as soon as I start recording. I got this puck, which is the 25th anniversary because they have been in South Carolina, or not South Carolina, in the Carolinas for 25 years. And then I also got a tie-dyed puck because obviously I needed 2 pucks. But let's see what else I have in here. So I got a hat. This one by 47 brand that has the red flags as well. Take warning. And I got a Stormy plushie right here because he is too cute. Love him. He's so funny. Had to get him. He's like a beanie. Then I got this one that says hello, I'm a Caniac. I thought it was funny to put on my pin banner. And then I got an Aho shirt. So Aho was like my third choice. Love Sebastian Aho, but so it just says his name and number on the back, and then has they were my favorite sweaters tonight, which are the black ones And so it says the same, the red flag. Sorry, I don't have my tripod. That, and I just realized that's a hockey stick they're hanging on, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I wanted a Freddie Anderson one, and they did not have Freddie, so I was like, okay, my next favorite is Teravainen. They did not have a Teravainen one, so I was like, okay, we are going Aho because the Finns are my favorite players. Yeah, I know Freddie's not a Finn, and oh my gosh, I totally just knocked my straw at my drink. But for like position players, I don't know if they're called that in hockey, but sorry, my voice sounds kind of weird. My ears have been ringing because if you don't know, PNC Arena is the loudest arena in the National Hockey League for one, and I was yelling like the whole game. They lost to a team that sucks. Sorry, Vancouver, but yeah. I mean, it's kind of understandable coming off a road trip, then playing 2 back-to-back games, but you don't want to lose, especially when you're a #1 team, and lose to a team that's lost over 20 games. But yeah, first time seeing a Canadian team and first time seeing my local team. So, yeah, sorry for that lighting. I usually don't film this late at night. It's like 10 something, but yeah, I am home and I didn't read today because I was on the road and having fun. And I don't think I'm gonna pick up Dune tonight, but I will be reading tomorrow and talk to you then. Okay, y'all are looking kind of crooked, but I can't really tell. I won't be able to tell till editing. But it is 1:28 Monday, January 16th. So I did not get into Florida, but I will be doing that later in the day, just because I slept in today, because you'll know I had quite the busy busy night last night, so I slept in. I treated myself with that. But we are starting a new book today, as we did finish Electra. So this is the second to last book on my TBR. No, this is my third to last book. But this is Years by Laverle. I said Laverne earlier, but it's Laverle Spencer. So this is a romance, and it says Penguin and Berkeley. I didn't realize Berkeley was like part of Penguin. I'm seeing when this book was published for y'all. 1986. So basically I just wanted to read more historical romances, and I typed in historical romances on Goodreads or something like that and found a list, and this was on there, and it just takes place during some of my favorite times in history. And let me show you all this cover. It looks like it's painted, and it's just really beautiful. I love rural scenes like that. I can never say that word. So farm life in 1917 is hard and bitter, but tiny-spirited Leanna is determined to brave its challenges and carve out a place for herself. And as World War I threatens to take those she holds dear, Leanna grows to womanhood in the arms of Teddy Westgard, a man who thought he had never find love again. So I think this is probably finding love in like unexpected places, and especially in this time period. Yeah, so what I was saying, in this time period, because so much darkness is happening in the world. The world is really changing a lot going into that modern era that we are in now. But so this is about a girl who goes to a small town to become a teacher in the middle of nowhere in North Dakota, which I feel like that's all in North Dakota. I've never been in North Dakota. Alamo might not even be in the middle of nowhere, but it sounds like it. And so the Westgards are like the people she stays with. What are those people called? Oh my gosh, what are they? Her host family, until I guess she can get her feet on the ground. And since she is like an unwed woman, I don't know at this time how common it was for them to live on their own. So it seems like it's finding love in unlikely places, small town romance, but also historical. So I'm going to be starting this right now, and I'm going to be reading physically because it's not over 500 pages. It's about 480 pages. Okay, let's do our updates. So I read 139 pages in Years, and I just remembered I need to update in here how many chapters I want to read a day. I want to read 8 chapters a day when I originally had 5, but that was when it's taken me 5 days to finish books. So I got to chapter 9, which is the 29% mark of the way through the book. Let's talk about my thoughts. There are quite a few here. Okay, so the theme, or 2 of the other tropes that I didn't know like before getting in is that it's definitely like enemies to lovers, and then age gap, but like 20s and 30s age gap, so I don't think it's like an old like big age gap. But they're both obviously at very different stages in their lives, as she's just getting into her career and he's a farmer. Then okay, this is just like a random question because the main character is a teacher. Why were schoolhouses so far out? Like, you only hear stories of like people joking, saying like their parents would talk about how they had to walk forever to get to school. Like, why were schoolhouses like out in the middle of nowhere? Like, why didn't they put them in the town? I'm curious because I don't know. Okay, then there's this weird vibes between Linnea, that's how you say her name, Linnea and Kirsten, I don't know. The characters are Norwegian descent, or the whole Westgar is their Norwegian descent, and then Linnea, sorry, they said how to pronounce it, so that's why I have to think. Sorry, I'm burping, I just ate. So she is half Swedish, half Norwegian. But yeah, there's this weird vibes there. Like, he's only 2 years younger than her, but he is her student, and I'm like, it's up, like, he thinks she's cute, but she knows, like, he's my student, I'm not gonna go after him, like, you know, like, she knows that's wrong. But I just feel like that was kind of unnecessary to the story. But I feel like this is gonna be like an epic romance, just, it's over 400 pages. It's gonna be epic. Then descriptive writing, especially the narrative. And then, okay, so we know the romance is going to, obviously, between Linnea and Teddy, or we mainly know him as Theodore, so far. But he keeps referring to her as thinking of her as a child and all that, and I see this kind of weird when we know that there's going to be a romance between them. Then, okay, there's times when she talks to Lawrence, who is like an imaginary friend, which I just find strange, a grown woman having an imaginary friend. Like, I don't know, it might not be weird and I might just think it's weird, but, and sometimes in those scenes I think that, oh, stuff's actually happening, but it's all happening in her head, not really happening, and I just kind of have a hard time telling the difference. And then I think this would be a good book if you don't know that much about romance, you don't know what you like in romance yet, but you like historical fiction. This is very good on seeing what life was like in 1917, as it suggested that you go a day without eating meat in a week, or go a day without grains, because to provide more resources for the military in France, because World War I is going on. And then at this time, women are also getting the right to vote, and so the country is really changing. But I think this is great looking at what life was like in this instant in the Midwest in the United States. So I do think if you are somebody who likes historical fiction, but you haven't really dived into romance yet, then this might be a good place to start. But those are all my thoughts on years for the day and for this vlog, because the vlog's ending soon. I'm going to be getting into the Phlebotomist in about 7 minutes here, start on chapter 20, page 171, and then I don't think I'm going to get to Florida today. I was hoping to finish this today, but I'm pretty tired, and it's like over 30 pages in here that I have to read. But I will be getting to Dune tonight, starting on page 411, and I want to read like 5% in here. So those are the reading plans for the rest of the night. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and as always, comment, rate, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. And if you made it through the whole video, leave a heart emoji of any kind down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!